Hello, my fellow car milers. How are you doing today? Welcome to another great episode of the Model Car Enthusiast podcast. This is episode. We don't have Mark here. Episode 21.
That
Are we into
sounds
the
good.
20s now? Let's go with that. If not,
Yeah, I think it is 21.
yeah,
21-ish.
Now we'll have the right one. But yeah, we got a couple of usual suspects. We've got Mr. Jim Drew here, and we've got Mr. Irv here, Mr. Arterake. But we have a new face here, a rookie to the scene, and a fresh new, welcoming new knucklehead into the scene. Here is we've got Dano from Ledoms Scale Model Cars channel. He's just, how long have you been doing it now, Dan?
Since April.
And he came on the scene. Great modeler. His videos are really cool. Good stuff. Go check him out. And I've known of you pretty much, and we've corresponded on my Facebook groups for years. And
Yeah.
you've been known as Lead'em Rack. And just recently, I think it was Irv that brought it to my attention, because I'm not smart enough to figure this out. Is your social media name is basically model car backwards.
Yeah, our car model, either
Or
or.
car
If you-
model,
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
hold
that's
up
a
to the-
car model
hold up to
backwards.
the- And that's been my my Facebook alias since day one Facebook started.
No, yep,
When I made the big jump from MySpace to Facebook.
yes.
Wow,
you-
MySpace.
But in the real world, you just go by Dan or Dano.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Which, just to say to everybody, the subject for today, which it's kind of perfect here, what we got, is model clubs versus social media groups, pros and cons. And it just so happens, Dan, you just joined the club that Irv's in.
Yes, CAMS, Carolina Auto Modeler Society.
Awesome. So you guys live kind of in the same area.
Yeah. He lives in South Carolina. I live in North Carolina, but he lives in Rock Hill, so I'm about an hour and 20-minute drive to where Irv lives at.
Yeah, that's cool. And then, Jim, you're way up north. Is it still, how's the
Just-
weather there?
It's absolutely beautiful.
It's
Just north of Toledo.
Just north of Toledo, yep. And I'm in, we're actually having a little bit of a cool down because we had monsoons come in. It's only 98 degrees right now, but the humidity's shooting up and the sun's out. And that's all about to end. We'll have 115. I'm out in the southwest desert, right smack dab in Phoenix, and not happy about it. But that's my problem, not yours. I hope to make the change and be living a little more closer to Irvin and Dano here soon. We're hoping, we're working on it. And then I can get out to all the great shows, man. That's where the model car crap's going on, is on the east side of this. Oh, look, I'm having computer interruption problems. Isn't that great? Well, we'll forge on anyways. We'll probably let everybody else talk more, and I'll just shut up for a while. But yes, we are going to talk about model clubs versus, I guess we could say, or, the social media groups, the Facebook groups and all that stuff. The pros and cons to both. I love them both. I hate them both. But I think it's model clubs for decades has been a real core part of our hobby, an important part, which the clubs would end up putting on the model shows. The model shows were so important. Had the magazines. And all before internet, and then when the internet came around, we had originally, the forums, and then the Facebook groups and all that stuff. That's really shrunk it shrunk the world, but our little world in model car world really shrunk. Where we can do things like this, where we're, like we said, we're all over the country here, the four of us, and we're all friends, and we get to BS and talk to and have people watch us BS about stuff I think they might be interested in. So that's a big pro to the modern technology. But anyways, I think what we'll do is we'll start with Irvin. What do you think of this? What are your thoughts on? Is there one better than the other? They do serve different purposes. The pros and cons. What do you say, sir?
Well, I I mean, I grew up more in the club scene than Facebook was for all of us being older.
Yeah.
The Facebook and the YouTube was more of a newer thing, so clubs to me were very vital in my growth because
Yes.
if you're on Facebook and someone asks a question, it's a very vague question. A lot of times people don't give you enough information. They give you a vague question
Mm-hmm.
and then you get like 60 people trying to answer. Instead of getting all the information, you got 60 people throwing their 2 cents in, and you end up being more confused than I think when you started. I think at a club you can say, hey, I have a problem with this, and you can go to the senior members of your club that are really good at something. If someone's interested in suspensions and you got a really good suspension and they have questions, I think it's easier to answer and point things out one on one. So I do like that aspect of a club. And also, it kind of becomes a mini show in some form where you can kind of polish your skills as you go and try to improve because maybe there's other modelers there that are better than you that have better skills, but you can learn from their skill sets and improve your building also. So I like, and also being a hobby that, we're kind of in our rooms by ourselves. I think it's good socially
Yeah.
because you have that that one-on-one interaction. So
Well,
I like
as
that about a club.
as
Um,
human beings, we require social interaction.
yes.
Oh,
I mean,
So I
that's
like
that's how
that
we're all wired
aspect of
up.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Um,
favorite thing about a club.
yeah. And then, the Facebook and YouTube, you can learn a lot on, especially with the YouTube, because you can explain things a lot more than say on Facebook and writing like,
Right.
yes.
10 inches of information, and a lot of people aren't going to read all that, and so I think but Facebook's a great place to take photographs and show people stuff, and I think they all have their spot, but I think for me personally, I think a club can be like a show where if you're showing your work and progress, it actually can encourage you to continue or make improvements. And again, you have that one-on-one interaction of being friends, and I think that's just as important as building the models as having yourself surrounded by friends that have the similar interests as you do.
Yeah, definitely. It was the clubs that I joined my first club. I probably been modeling, seriously car modeling for about 3 years. I discovered Scale Auto, wrote a letter to Scale Auto, thinking I'm the only one in Phoenix, Arizona that's building model cars at the 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 old age of, yeah, I think I was 19 or 20 or something. Um, and I got a phone call from who is still a good friend of mine, uh, Greg Myers. I was actually at a model meeting last weekend with him, and he called me up because he read my article and or my letter to Scale Auto. This was 1988, and he told me about the local club that's still going on today. We just had a meeting last week, and it's had its ups and downs and stuff, and it seems to be getting better again. But it was, I go to those meetings and just get into talking to now extremely old friends. I mean, so many of the guys we hung out, like we go to someone's house every month and talk about models and talk. And these are guys we've been discussing this stuff since the '80s. All there was this group by the time a lot of people left, and there was like this little core group of us that always hang out late and end up, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning leaving, and we've been doing this since the '80s, so we all know each other, and we still are helping each other out and talking about model cars and talking about the history. Or hey, you remember these kits? It's like the guy who owned the house, he's bringing out these old vintage kits because we're talking about it because he has tons of them. We were it's just yeah the club thing. It's intimate, and you become really good personal friends with the people, and that's where there's just no replacement for the clubs. Definitely. Unfortunately, there's so many people you hear about it. That's where the Facebook groups are great for the guys who are kind of like living somewhere where there's not a lot of modelers and stuff. There's no clubs, man. I've always been fortunate. Either side of the country that I've lived on, I've been close to a lot of modelers and had groups of friends that we would always get together. So when I'm not in a club, it's always a downer.
Well,
It
I,
really
I did a
is.
little looking into this subject before we got on, and apparently you live longer if you're involved in clubs and things. It doesn't matter what kind of club you're involved in, as long as you're involved socially, you basically are extending your life expectancy. So,
Okay,
and
I needed that.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
you can get some of that on the social media, but you're not going to get that, that one-on-one experience with people that
Right.
you look forward to seeing maybe twice a month or once a month.
Yeah.
Like I'm involved in the Downriver Model Car Club up south of Detroit, and we got well over 200 members in that club, and
Wow.
there's a lot of it's Detroit. Come on.
Yeah. Motor City.
So
How,
and
how,
there's a
how old
there's a
is that?
lot of people in there that are way older than I am. Then they got a truck of knowledge that they bring to the
Yeah.
table. And then conversely, I'm also involved in IPMS club here in Toledo. That's more of the military vein. I'm the guy who gets, who tries to tell them how to polish things because instead of putting camouflage on.
Yeah.
But I learn a lot of detailing from those guys as far as
Oh,
weathering and things like that. But yeah, you getting your physical social interaction is, I think, is paramount for everybody just to improve your well-being.
yeah. Definitely. And Dano, so you just recently joined Irvin's club, but this is this your first club, or are you new to the club thing, or?
No, it's not my first club. It's the first club that I've, uh, well, actually, I take it the second club that I've interacted with since I moved to North Carolina because I'm a longtime Florida resident. And then a few years ago, I moved up here to North Carolina. So I initially found out about the model builders of North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia,
Okay.
and I joined them on a few meetings. They're almost 2 hours away from me, but I still go up there when I can and join. And then, like I said, I go. I saw the cam sticker on all of Irvin's videos, of course, but I never put two and two together that it was a club. And then
Ah.
when Matt Hickey reached out to me about joining cams, and it's actually a little bit closer distance to me, I said, heck yeah. But like for me, I did belong to groups in Florida, but I grew up in Maryland, and I grew up in rural Maryland, and I built models. So even into my, like I was 21 years old before I moved to Florida, I had no clue about clubs. I mean, because I'm in the middle of farmland, in the middle of, you know, Nowheresville in Maryland, you know. But lo and behold, after I moved to Florida, I find out about the Mama Club, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I thought, wait a minute now, where are these then? But I joined the Suncoast Model uh, Club in outside of Tampa. Also Mags, which was outside of Tampa. I joined there's two clubs, and you know, again, like you guys all said, the social aspect of one-on-one personal interaction, face-to-face interaction. I don't think anything can beat it.
True.
There's a camaraderie. And as you get to know these people in these clubs, I mean, and it becomes a more of a tight knit group. You can't beat it with a stick. No matter how much social media you do, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or what have you. And for me, there's I don't see a lot of cons with a club. Maybe the only thing is that sometimes a club will lack the diversity that you may see on social media.
Oh, that
We
is
all
so
build
true.
cars and stuff, but when you get to social media, the diversity and the wealth of knowledge you see on social
Oh,
media, you know, more than likely will far exceed what you have in club. Now, you know, there's a lot of great builders in these clubs, and but you don't get a chance to interact with all of them because you don't belong to all those clubs. But you get to see them on social media, and so that's maybe my one con about an actual club. But I love the aspect of like going to the cams, and we got to show off our builds right then and there, or we did a little table work right then and there, and just chit chat. Even if you didn't talk about the models, it's just a different atmosphere, and then, it's more lively. It's just I just dig the personal bit of it. Social media I think is great, but there's some aspects about it. Irv pointed out is that if you ask a question, you're going to get 500 different answers, or you get the keyboard warriors. I'm
oh boy.
sorry, but that keyboard warriors turn me off more than anything else. You know, you know, you know, the Rust-Oleum debate, or this
Yeah.
debate or that debate, and then you get the people that are just downright nasty. Now,
Yeah,
excuse me if I let out a word here and there, but I'm going to try not to. But
It's all
and
right. He'll
it
beep
just
you.
yeah,
maybe.
it,
I don't know.
yeah,
Beep.
it just bothers me to no end. The keyboard warriors are those that think that they're greater than thou.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
You,
bad.
you, you get
They're
those that
bad for social media for sure.
you get the know-it-alls and stuff like that. Like now I've been painting. I've been doing custom painting for a long time. I've been doing custom work, not just in the model world, but I've been doing custom work for a long time. But I will never say to someone, even the person that uses Rust-Oleum, and says you're doing it wrong. You should do it this way or else. Blah blah blah. And that is probably really what drives me crazy about social media. But,
Yep.
but again, getting back to the pros, the wealth of knowledge that you get to see on there, the diversity of the builds that you get to see on there, people you would never ever see in a club. Like, you know, I see these people out on the West Coast and some of their custom paint jobs on their lowriders,
Oh
and
my
it just,
goodness. Yes.
I'm just mind blown. And I would never see that if it wasn't for social media.
And I also like to use the social media side of things for discovering new products.
Oh yeah.
Exactly,
I mean, and
exactly.
some of the stuff that I'd say a majority of what I use I found online. Just
Yeah.
watching videos of, and then it's like, oh, quick, got to write that down. Freeze.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yep. Well,
probably.
the other thing about social media too is that you get to find out about shows that you may not even have known about.
Absolutely,
Oh
You know,
yeah.
absolutely.
like I wouldn't know about shows in Tennessee or Kentucky or West Virginia if it wasn't for social media. Because usually, back in the you may have get Scale Auto, but even Scale Auto wouldn't print all the shows up. And so with social media, people will put out their flyers. Oh, hey, that's only 2 hours away, or that's 2.5 hours away, which isn't a bad drive for me. And and then you get to meet even more people. So social media, as far as show networking, you know, I think is better off, is a pro also.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Oh, and just for the record, Cams is not my group. It was four of us that started that together. So it's Steve Birch, um, Mike Ramp, me, and Bill Smith. And Steve came up with our logo, the idea, the name, and stuff like that. So I'm the secretary. I'm not really. It's not my. It's all our club. We started it together. So we're trying to get into a like we're meeting at a house, and we're maybe one or two people away from outgrowing it. So we need to find a new spot. But it's a
How old is the
combination
club?
of a couple guys. It's not technically my club, so I don't want to give the false impression that I started it and did all that. But it was a group of us
How
that
long
did.
has your club been going on?
Well, we started
Besides,
meeting originally. It was Mike Ramp and I started meeting at my house like once a week or once every 2 weeks, and then we added Bill, and then Steve had a little get together at his house, and we kind of like it kind of started like that. So we just started kind of meeting to talk about models because none of us were in any groups, and so we just kind of started that way. And then well, let's try to start a club, and we're trying to. When I was in Mama's Boys Club in Maryland, um, their club doesn't pay dues. They do it without paying dues, so they don't have the drama of going through and collecting money and all that. And we're trying to do it without that, modeled after that. So we're trying to do little things to raise money to kind of get us going, and then we'll maybe have a little flea market or sales there, or that you can buy stuff and all the money just goes to the kiddies. So we're trying to. I kind of want to do it like they're doing it. They always said they don't charge you to be a member, but they charge you when you try to leave. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. So
That sounds like a good idea.
I just it just seemed like it eliminated a lot of the politics out of club,
It
and
does.
so it's a little looser. So we're trying to keep it on the lighter side. I don't want to get into really deep,
Well,
you
well,
know.
well. Irv and Matt brought me to the back alley, and they kind of
Yeah,
roughed me up a little bit. And they said, "Pay up
yeah,
or leave," But no, I'm
yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah.
So
So yeah,
for the
it's
downriver club that I'm in, we take a $20 a year dues, but we use half of it to help pay for the rent of the upstairs part of a ice hockey arena. Because, like I said, our club's pretty big, so
right.
we fill up the upstairs, but then we use the other half for charity. And we'll like this year we were able to donate to 4 different charities at the
Oh,
end of the
cool.
year.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
then we also have a Dirty Santa Christmas thing where everybody brings a kit and then we swap and trade that thing.
That's
And
always
then
fun.
and we also have a we also have a we'll bring in everybody brings a models that they're pretty sure they'll never build or whatever, and we do an auction once a year, and we also take the money from that auction and we take the entire proceeds from that auction and we also donate that to charity. So we do a lot of charity work in that. So
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of neat ways and
and
to
that
do.
also helps ever the friendships in there because we're
Right.
trying to keep everything positive.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Jim, does your club have officials, or is there someone who gets voted? You do a vote every year of who's going to be president and all that stuff, or you just kind
Yeah,
of have.
we have a president and a secretary, but there's no voting going on. It's until you're tired of the job, I think. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's the way it's going because the
I find
treasurer's.
that
I've known this treasurer for a long time, and he's always done it. And
Yeah.
I find a lot of the clubs today have really got rid of the politics and the officialisms, and gotten a lot more laid back. Like I was in a club for a while, there was no due. We did it that way, and just kind of you just had there was these key couple of guys that just took it on that because not everybody. There's a lot of most people they just want to come to the meeting once a month. They don't want to deal with the BS of trying to coordinate or organize stuff. And you'll have a couple guys that are willing to just kind of steer the wheel of the ship for a while.
well, they always
Um,
say 10% of the people do
Yeah.
90% of the work.
Yeah.
yeah,
That
exactly.
holds true for everything.
It is, and that's okay. Um, I I've been on both ends of it. Like right now, I kind of got back into an old club and I just want to sit back and just go once a month and not worry about anything. I just want to go have fun and hang out with my friends, man.
Yeah.
I don't care about
I
I
had
don't care
gone to
about
one
anything like
club.
that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did go to one club, and I only went a couple times, but they ran it. I mean, they had the parliamentary procedure going on.
Yeah,
Oh
There was
my
a reading
goodness.
of the minutes, this and that, and I just looked. And I said, "Hang on a minute. I mean, this is." I thought I came here for fun, but not to. And then you kind of get a lecture about this or about that. I said, no thanks. And I
yeah,
think that was a club in Manatee County that I went to, but like the Suncoast Club and the Max Club and the club up in Winston Salem. They all kind of run the same way as Cam's does. No
Right.
dues. I mean, donate if you can, and just informal. Just very few rules if any. Just show up and have a good time, a social good time.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
with the IPMS club that I belong to, it's since it's a international affiliation, you're
It's
required to have officers. And last year we lost our president. He passed away. And we had like 5 or 6 meetings, and I said, well, there's an elephant in the room. We gotta have a president or something like that to report to the nationals. And I was like, by proxy, I was made the president of the clubs.
uh,
Oh, gee, thanks.
Yep. Do you raise your
yeah.
hand?
I didn't raise my hand. I just said elephant in the room. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Somebody said all in favor of Jim.
Uh, well, there's places for that stuff. The thing about IPMS. I've come and gone with IPMS. I don't like that. I just don't enjoy that. I just like the free spirited type of thing, that we've been talking about. But I don't have anything against that. I think it's neat. Like, the one thing about IPMS is because of how organized it is and big, nationally, internationally, that it is because of the shows that it creates. And so, a big part of the whole, shows, which are, again, that's kind of like a branch off of clubs, are model shows, and
Yep.
it's such a needed thing. If IPMS ceased to exist today, I think we would lose a lot in our hobby for, really good top end organized shows, and having the nationals every
Well,
once in a while.
I'm on the national committee for this show
Right.
that's coming up in 2 weeks in Fort Wayne.
Boy.
And at this present time, the pre-entries is close to 900 models are pre-entered,
Yeah.
or people. Close to 900 people are
Wow.
pre-entered,
Yeah. So that can turn into.
and it's a worldwide thing. Oh, it's a great big convention center in Fort
Yeah.
Wayne, and we filled up all the hotels in the area. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely an
but it
event.
takes an army to run the thing because we got 5 different clubs. My Toledo club is part of the people that are helping out. So, and then
Yeah.
we got 5 clubs that are we have to work.
Yeah.
Otherwise this thing ain't happening.
Yeah.
But it's been fun trying to get that on, up and running.
I absolutely commend you guys. The only nationals I've ever been to were the ones that were in Phoenix. Um,
I've been out there for that one.
you came out, yeah. The one that I didn't go to, you were here, and I found out you
Right.
were there, and I was like, oh man, I wanted to meet you. But I was kind of thinking of going, when it was first announced of this one coming up, but it just, I don't. Hopefully they'll be one that gets a little closer to this side of the country, or when I get moved to the East Coast, there'll probably be a better chance for me to go to the Nats, because I like the IPMS Nationals. I think it's an important event for the hobby of model building, and
They try to
cars
keep it regional.
definitely. Yeah,
It
there's
goes
some
East Coast,
great
Midwest, Central, West Coast.
And technically, we always talk in the model car world, the Big Daddy Model Show, which again, Fred's not with us today. He was going to be with us because he's got important business to get that Acme show going. He's got an Acme meeting today, or an event going on at the museum, and he, those guys. That's actually an IPMS affiliate club and show. So
The Acme show is?
it is. It is,
Oh,
which
okay.
was really smart of those guys. I think it's the only car centric. That's all there is that is under the IPMS umbrella, which was really smart for those guys to do, because that's what's great about the IPMS and trying to do shows, and with the regional shows and all that, is you have this blanketed insurance coverage for your event, which is something people don't think about, is really important to have. And people who are just putting on model shows, you sometimes you're taking a risk. You got to make sure you do have insurance provided by lots of times, the event hall or whatever, but sometimes you don't have that and something happens. It can
Yeah, and
fall back.
IPMS provides your insurance.
And IPMS provides the insurance and other things, and a lot
Yep.
of you're automatically advertised too and stuff through them. So they got a huge voice in the hobby. Everybody knows about it. So there's a place for it. It's not the type of meetings for me. It's not my cup of tea. That's a con. I get a little bored with being in IPMS clubs, but I think it's a necessity. I'm not against it or all. It's just my. I'd rather just go hang out and be leisure. I'm lazy. I just want to. I don't want to go to school. I just want to go hang out with some buds and kick back and.
Well, every time we get a new member come into the Toledo Club, we'll get about 20 minutes into it, and we're all just sitting around BSing the whole thing, and somebody might have something to look at, but we're all just chewing the fat about what's going on in our lives and anything. So, and I would turn to them and go, "Are you ready for this? Because that's all we do is just sit around and
Yeah.
BS."
Yeah.
That's what it is, especially the clubs over the years. Obviously it's kind of becoming an older crowd. We're all kind of mellowing out, but
Yeah, I'm one of the youngest ones in our IPMS. So
yeah, yeah, you don't see the. It's funny, I remember when I joined my club, and it did so much for my model building. I mean, my model building just soared. I started learning so much because where we are here in Phoenix, luckily at the time, there were some heavy hitter model builders that were regulars that won up in Salt Lake. I had in my club, which was I was really fortunate to have that, to have those guys be kind of my mentors. I learned so much and got better at my hobby really quick. But I remember when like I said, I was 88. I would have been 22 years old, and I was kind of the youngest there, but I wasn't the only one. There were quite a few guys that were 20, 25 years old in the club back then, and you don't see that as much anymore.
no.
But what you do see is you see a lot of guys who are older that just got into the hobby and joining the clubs. They never did it when they were younger. They might have did it when they were kids, and they get back into it because the kids are gone and they're done building their hot rods because it costs a lot of money now, and who wants to lay on the concrete floor in the garage anymore?
They all got lifts.
Yeah, I don't. I wish I did,
Go
but yeah,
broke spending money on parts.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The real automotive hobby is it's yeah. Everybody talks about the cost of model cars. Yeah, try to build a real hot rod now.
A lot of
Not
money.
a lot
But
of
I
money.
always used to tell my wife, I said, I could be worse. I could own a race car.
Yeah,
True.
it could always be worse.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
that monopoly money again.
Yeah, pretty much.
I had a friend of mine in racing tell me once, yeah, you wanna get into racing? Just go out in the back, dig a big hole, throw all your money in it, and bury it. And that's racing.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun. But yeah, it's um, the I don't see any evidence that people talk about with what we're talking about. There's a lot of us older, and there's unfortunately we're losing a lot of the guys and stuff like that. But I still think there's, even though they're a little older, we got new modelers coming into the hobby all the time. I don't really foresee this is another subject, but I don't foresee the model car hobby dying out. It's to me, I think it's bigger than it's ever been with the social media. There's the plus for the social media.
I agree. I
It-
agree.
you know,
And now with the museum, with
Oh,
our hobby museum merging into a like what I'd consider like a real high quality museum,
yes,
that has kind of secured the history that possibly could have been lost.
which is so
Um,
important.
yeah, so I'm so excited about being able to go out to a regular car museum with regular hours and being able to, if I want to spend a day in the hobby section of that museum, and I'm assuming that somewhere down the line they're going to be rotating um, collections in and out as far as displays. I'm sure they're not
I'm
going to
sure
keep
of
the
it.
same display. So
Yeah, they are.
um,
I've already offered up a bunch, so
yeah, so I think it's going to be something that the history of it is being preserved, and bringing it into a regular museum that has high end donors, and so it's kind of, I guess, protected as well as it could be.
Yeah,
Um,
it definitely was a. And from
because
what,
there was concern about what was going to happen to the museum, as the people running it were getting older, and so it's nice to see that if we want to donate to that organization, and donate models to the, instead of our wives just throwing them out, that's nice to see that. I was really
yeah,
happy by that.
I also think technology has really helped increase the popularity of our hobby too. I mean, it's
absolutely it has.
the 3D printing and a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
the products that you can get now. I think have really sparked a lot more enthusiasm, and I think with that, the you're probably getting some more youth
yeah,
notifications on it because they're into I know a lot of people that are in their 20s are really into that 3D printing stuff.
Oh
Not
boy,
necessarily for models, but they poke their nose in.
yeah, definitely.
I'm not interested in. Oh,
Uh,
you're kind of breaking up, Dano.
yeah.
Yeah.
you
Oh
might have
really?
to go out and come back
You
in.
want to go out and come in? Let me.
Hold, please.
I don't know. You guys aren't in. I'm in this 48-hour group build right now. I got.
Yeah, did you get your petty car done?
I'm getting. It's almost. I'm doing the decaling. I have a lot of fun with it. I've been wanting to start building these starter kits. I've always.
Is that a
Yeah.
starter kit?
Yeah, I'm doing a starter. I got a friend of mine. He gave me, I think, 50 starter kits. I got to get the. Just
Oh
gave me
my goodness.
50. Yeah, all the 80s NASCAR, different ones, and man, I am just absolutely. I've always. I
You see
built a
me
couple
now?
starters years ago. There you
Yeah,
That's
he's
go.
better.
back. We can hear you.
Yay.
Yeah.
I
Tilt it up. There we go.
back in the late 80s or early 90s, I built a couple starter kits. I was always fascinated with them. But man, you remember, even though like the one I'm building, it has from one of the hobby shops here in town from back in like the 80s, has the price tag on it of 25 bucks, and right now that seems like but you remember a model kit in the 80s,
That was a lot
24
of money.
scale, was 8 bucks. So man, starter kits were out of my reach back then.
As a newlywed, I bought a Bosica Ferrari Formula One
Oh,
car for $50. And I thought my wife was going to divorce me. My new bride,
oh
she's
boy.
like, it better build itself.
Yeah.
1980, $50 was
That was a lot of
a
money.
lot
Yeah.
of money.
A lot of money. That was a lot of money. Yeah, it was but getting a hold of these starter kits, I'm like I'm I kind of there was one that was kind of finished, the
Yep.
paint was finished when I first got this collection of them, and I put that one together and had a really good time with it. But then right from starting the kit and building this one, wow, these are fun. These are a lot of fun. I think I'm addicted.
So when
I'm
you say starter kit, is that like a snap kit? Is that what you're referring
No,
to?
it's
No,
the brand.
it's a brand.
I
They
never
were
heard of
from
it.
France.
I don't think I ever
Yeah,
heard of them.
Yeah,
I
it's
never heard of them either.
yeah.
yeah,
They
and
were
that's
really
a
popular in the 80s and 90s.
yeah,
Huh.
and they're basically, this is an old one. This is like a really rough one,
What
and this is the
scale?
only stock car that I have.
143rd, Irv.
Oh
Yep,
wow.
143rd, old style resin.
Cool.
They started making them even nicer than this. This is a real early one.
Well, I got into that. I got into 43rds because it was the only place I could find the subject matter that I wanted to build.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was the thing. They used to have really cool subject matter, but it was a what did I drop? I don't know. I had a friend of mine back in the late '80s, and and he only built NASCAR models, and I was getting really heavy into building NASCAR, and so we hit it off good, and I go over to his house, and he had all these, 43rd sketch. What are those? And he said starter, and I go, oh yeah, I saw their. You would always see their ads in Scale Auto back then, and I'm like, these are neat. And he gave me one, and I built it really horribly, and he was mad at me.
Oh,
Well,
So, yeah, that was. But I was like, wow, these things are cool. They're really neat. It's different. It's different, and they're, like, I thought, okay, they're kind of simplistic in a way. So I thought, yeah, that's a good one. I could build it in 48 hours. But then
and yet
I
detailed.
got it painted. The next one I want to do, I want to put some time into it because, again, technology we were talking about, resin casting back then. I put, I didn't see them. Once I got the first coat of paint down, I saw all these little. It's like the thing had acne scars. There's just pinholes all over this car. On the weirdest, you think it would just be on the bottom, but it was all over the car. Not really bad on the hood, but it looks good. I'm having fun with it,
Good.
and but you definitely got to spend time with those and do a lot of paint prep, a lot of body
Or,
prep on them.
or those multimedia style kits
They
with
kind
the
of are. They
white
are
Some come with
metal?
photo etch. Their glass is
cool.
usually vacuform.
Yeah, and the wheels are interesting. Is the wheels are like a turned steel? It's not. I don't know. I don't think they're aluminum. Eh,
Depends on.
But
I think they're nickel plated
yeah,
something.
they're nickel plated, so they're almost chrome. But it's
You
just
think
the
they're hot
wheel.
metal?
They might be
What?
brass, nickel plated
Yeah,
brass.
nickel plated brass probably. It feels like that, and it's like a cylinder, and then they give you a resin cast center that drops in, and it's amazing how when you get that painted and you put the center in, how it turns into the wheel. They do a really great job with it, and
Huh.
I went ahead and I didn't touch the wheel. I used the nickel plating, and I went and first time I ever used the Revell Chrome. I am definitely very pro Revell Chrome. I gotta say, and I just had these little tiny pieces, and I could control the spray can. It wasn't a lot that came out. One little pass. These things looked beautiful. They are very quickly setting up, and I dropped them in, and it looks like one wheel now. They look really good.
Nice.
So,
Cool.
really happy with that Revell Chrome. I've had this can for 3 years. It's the first time I finally sprayed with it.
I
You
think
could
that's
have
another
sold it
part
and
of
made
social
money.
media
Yeah.
that's a pro is that you find out things that you never knew existed. Like, I never knew those starter kits existed before, but there's other items you see on social media talked about that. Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
Here I am in
exactly.
the hobby since the late 1970s. Or actually I started building the 1960s, but even now I'm still saying stuff that I never even knew that existed, but
Yep.
yet it's been around for 30, 40 years.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite part about the social media. New products.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was the whole thing. Is you know, I'll fix this all up. We'll just continue on right from here. That was kind of the good stuff right there with what we're talking about. So, um,
You could
anyways,
slot it in.
yeah, I'll fix it. Or it'll be in the end. But yeah, the that's the thing is the whole when that Revell Chrome came out, it made such an impact. Everybody's talking about it, and you're getting all kinds of input from people. I don't like it. I like it. Then you start discovering, well, there is a way to use it,
Mm-hmm.
and it really, to me, I think the Revell Chrome, you you don't have. It also does great. You don't have to do that base coat. So that also they say the Revell Chrome is expensive, but then you don't have to pay for a base coat. You can put it on anything and it chromes right up. I just I didn't trust this old resin, So I threw so just a real quick pass of Tamiya flat black, just not so much that to black for the chrome, but just to put a barrier between the resin, the old resin, and this chrome paint. And then I went real quick, very light coat came out, and it was like they're perfect. I'm not putting any more on. They were perfect. So, but the whole thing was getting all that input from social media on what different people done and looking at people's results. And of course, to the clubs, I had a couple of guys in clubs that had used it, and I saw how they did it and got their advice and looked at the end results. Is how I came up with my way to do it the first time, and it was a total success. And I have been nervous about using that stuff, and now I'm primo with it. I'll be using the heck out of it. But
I use it all the time. I use it,
yeah,
well, painting up wheels for Z-Force Model Works. I got like a
oh
mini
yeah,
production line, and so I've been using it for so long now. I have it down to science for what I need it to do. But you can use if you do put a like a gloss black base coat underneath of it. If you
yeah,
want more of a higher end shine
yeah,
on your chrome, you definitely can get it with a little
yeah.
bit
I
of
agree with that.
gloss, wet sanding and getting that surface really, really nice. You put that chrome on there, and it's like show chrome on there.
Yeah, and the thing that I found for me, I've always been waiting for a long time. First of all, wishing one day there would be an actual paint that looked chrome, and
Mhm.
then we started getting chrome paints, but it was all air spray or airbrushing, and I'm extremely lazy. And if I can rattle can something, I'm going to rattle can it. And when Ravel said, "Okay, we're going to have it in a rattle can," to me, that's a huge plus. And to find out now that what's scary about rattle can is lots of times, and even to me, is starting to get like that. You start spraying and it hoses things down, but this was really controllable. I was really able to regulate how much came out, and I did not use. I probably used a
A smidgen.
fragment of an ounce, teeny milli, whatever the heck, very small amount. So, because someone I had mentioned I was doing this, and someone on the Facebook said, "Well, that seems like you're wasting a lot of paint for those tiny little parts." And it's like, "Well, not really. I didn't have it. It was really controllable." So, I'm hooked on it. I will use that. That's my chrome paint, and it didn't seem to have bad vapors or anything like that. I didn't really shoot much of it to notice anything really bad coming out of it. I know that's always a problem because I do everything in the house, and I don't really have an elaborate filtration system. I have a bathroom, so I just my bathroom's my paint booth, and I open up the door or open up the window, sliding window.
As
I,
long as you're not multitasking.
oh, that's it. But
Well, when you move, you got to put a paint booth in.
yeah, I don't have the room here. I hopefully like when whatever we're gonna buy property when we get to Virginia, and I definitely want to have a paint booth and a proper place to work. Hopefully I'll be lucky enough. But yeah, but again, everything that I've been doing lately, and also the troubles with paints. Like there's been the whole thing with Tamiya rattle cans, and there's been issues, and I was having some issues, and I'm sharing it on the Facebook groups and getting other people's opinions. Well, I bought a fresh can of TS23 for the Petty Blue, and oh man, I finally started doing something that everybody says: heat the can up, heat the can up,
Oh,
heat the can up, and it's like, wow, yeah,
night
okay,
and day, night
my
and day.
problem, fix my
Yep.
problem. Same with because I'm using, excuse me, before I laid the blue down, I now everything I do is I get Tamiya has this base white, which is designed. It's different than just the regular white, and you don't get those little shallow, in the corners where you get in detail where you have it thin and you still see the gray primer coming through. This stuff gives a nice base coat, and it's TS 101 base white, and that is like a must put
Nice.
down before you put it, especially a bright color.
Yeah, Mr. Hobby's got a nice white primer too.
Do they have a nice? Yeah, I've been wanting to. I haven't been able to get a hold of
And it's a bright white too.
Is it a bright? Yeah. See, that makes a huge difference. And but I went ahead and I got a cup about yay big, a little bit bigger than the rattle can. Filled it with just hot tap water. I didn't heat anything up, and dropped the can in there for a little bit, and that did the job. And my can stayed warm for a long time. It was flowing great. So I'm back to being happy with Tamiya rattle cans, and so far I've been getting better paint jobs. So
Good.
that's been my thing too. Is what's been killing me finishing models is I get all nervous and freaked out when it's paint time. I'm kind of like got
Really?
I've been having for a couple of years. It seemed like every paint job I was doing was just a disaster every time. There's always something. It just never would work out. So it got to a point that when I was time to paint the model, I just would run out of gas. I get so um, you
Paint
know
phobia.
yeah, I had really bad paint phobia, and I think I'm over it now. I've done a couple of paint jobs and things are going good again. So maybe we'll start seeing me finish some things for a change.
Well, the builds I've seen you do lately, they've been looking pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, I'm getting better. I'm having better luck. Probably another thing is I need to calm down and not, sometimes I rush too fast and get impatient. Paint is definitely something that you cannot be impatient with.
Well, Dano and I, we probably paint every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are.
You got to paint. If you want to get good at painting, you got to paint. You got to paint a lot.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's
yes.
that's the best way
Some
to
of
get
my
good
custom
at
paint
it.
jobs that you've seen my models, I do in one day, start to finish.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that includes all the masking, that includes all the lace work and the graphics. One day, start subtract out the clear coat, but usually a full day, I can have all the colors, and all the masking done and painted in one day, if I so
Yeah.
desire.
Yeah, you do some pretty tricky custom paint jobs too.
That's
It's
the beauty of lacquer.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm a lacquer fan. You just uh such forgiveness and go back, and it's so easy to do paint correction. And then I've kind of gone the way of which, again, social media and all that stuff, and Jim and I becoming friends. I kind of followed him. You're the one, Jim, that said, "Oh, this Mr. Hobby with Mr. Super Clear UV cut is oh yeah,
Game
love that.
changer.
That it is that Mr. Hobby. It's too bad it's so hard to get a hold of
I
sometimes.
know. And I
That's the
think
problem.
it's formulated for a rattle can too. So I
Yeah,
think
Yeah.
it sprays better out of the can than through my airbrush. So
yeah, it does. And I just did some clearing with the can I have a couple times, and it's been turning out really nice. So pretty pleased with, and it buffs out really good. It's like you
doesn't
showed.
it?
Yeah, you were what was it? Your Mercedes you were working on,
Yeah.
and you showed it at one of the past
Couple
past
podcasts
podcasts,
ago.
and
Yeah.
you said you had buffed that up. I mean, it was like glassy looking, not over the top too.
No, it
Like you and
can't be
I have.
because it's a 50s car.
Right, you and I have, because we build a lot of race cars and vintage race cars. We don't want that deep
Wet
wet
look. Yeah.
look that 2K clear does, and that's where this clear. And again, lazy. I hate firing up my airbrush because I hate cleaning them. If I can rattle can a complete paint job, I'm gonna rattle can. I love it, and
And to me is the way to go. If you're going to rattle can,
Yeah.
you can't beat Tamiya.
no,
Really.
you can't. You
No.
can't. You can't be. Yeah, that's the only really that, and then Mr. Hobby paints. That's pretty much the only real rattle canning I will do. I just don't want to. It's
And
not worth it.
and
I'm not
Matt,
looking to
all
keep it.
three of us will tell you that the more you use your airbrush, the more you won't care about cleaning it every time you gotta. I mean,
Yeah,
all three of us go through multiple colors in a session.
I just clear coated this today, with
Yeah.
my airbrush.
yeah,
But when you're shooting multiple colors in a project, I mean, get it all set up ahead of time. I 5 or 6 different colors, and clean it all out, and then just do a final clean afterwards.
Yeah.
After a
Yeah.
while, you don't care, and it's like it's just part of the deal.
Yeah.
Well, another thing I think I'm going to start investing in. I've been looking at, again, social media, people using these things. I would have never known about it. Do you have that basically airbrush cleaner? It's just it's just so you can stick the nozzle in there and blow your uh, whatever you use to
Yeah.
clean it. And do you guys?
We're
No,
old
I shoot it
school.
into a Kleenex that's sitting in
Yeah.
the paint booth.
Yeah.
I have a junk. I keep a junk body in my paint booth that I start my gun on every time or spray
Oh,
bomb.
nice.
Oh, good
And
idea.
if I'm cleaning the gun out and I got lacquer in it, I'll spray it on there or spray it in a paper towel. I don't do any of that. I bought one of those things and I never used it. So
Really? Okay,
yeah,
well, that's good to know.
I,
Because I've
I, I
done what
never
you.
used I
I would.
never used one either.
yeah. It's like we're old school. So just
Oh,
get a
and
rag
just
out
to
and
add on top of that, Irv, a lot of those military guys, they'll have what they call a test mule,
yeah,
like the side of an aircraft body, and
yeah.
they're just testing their paint on it to make sure
Yeah.
there's nothing going to happen when they're shooting it over a certain color or primer. And
I have to
it,
show
they,
you that. I'll go get it because it's got like it's probably got an eighth inch of paint on it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's see this thing. Yeah, I'm definitely though. When it cools down around here, I've been setting up an area on my back patio behind my garage. I do have a paint booth. Oh, look at that thing.
Hey,
What
bring
was
that to
that?
Cadillac Ranch.
I love it.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's like your custom paintwork you did at the Cadillac Ranch.
It's getting pretty thick. I even put that's masking tape, and it's getting pretty thick on there. There's a little
Like
chrome.
concrete.
There's a little Revell chrome.
Ah,
Mhm.
yeah,
So yeah, I just keep a body in there, and
yeah,
anytime I'm working with my guns or with a spray can, I'll throw it on there first just to see it's coming out okay. And
yeah.
instead of spraying a piece of board, a lot of people use that little piece of board or something. I just gotta that body lives in there. It's been in there for probably 8 or 9 years. It's
Wow.
been in there, so it's
That's cool.
it's getting kind of
Nice.
heavy.
Yeah, I have a paint booth that was a homemade paint booth. It's pretty big, pretty. I don't have a lot of room for that to set it up anywhere, but I'm setting a spot up out on my back patio that I think this fall I'm going to finally have an actual designated safe paint area, and I'll probably start doing more airbrushing and stuff like that. Because it's
Nothing wrong with rattle cans. Nothing.
Nothing
No,
wrong with
nothing
them at
wrong
all.
with
no,
You know,
not
but
at
not
all.
at all.
I've bought up a collection of from MCW, a bunch of factory colors. Especially when it comes to metallics, you're gonna have to, when you want a factory color that's a metallic. And I like MCW because they also sell. I like to get it in lacquer, and it's all PPG single stage lacquer. And I got a couple of the old '60s Ford. I love those light greens and the blues and stuff like that with the metallic in them. And the way MCW mixes their paints, they use the formula. It's the automotive formula, but he'll use a micro flake, so it looks more to scale. That's always been a real pet peeve of mine with metallic paints. I like, yeah. I just remember testers. Testers
Oh my
metallic.
god!
Exactly. I
It's
no
like you
need to
shot
say
glitter
more.
on it.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like a bass boat, but
Which is okay sometimes if that's the look
Yeah,
you're looking for.
if that's the look you're going
exactly.
for, but oh man, once you start using something with a microflake in it, 'cause I don't know if a lot of people realize that in the automotive world, you can get different size flake, and they do have one that's small enough that looks to scale with our cars, and makes all the difference in the world. And Michael over at MCW, that he that's how he mixes his up, and I really like the quality of his paint. So I want to start. I've got a heck of a collection. I want to start using that. So I'm going to have to start busting the airbrush out. And I got a couple of good airbrushes too. I got all the right equipment. I'm just lazy. But I think getting some success paint jobs down for me, and with it's happening because I have gotten so much great advice from the social media clubs, you guys and all that stuff. Even here, you guys have just on this little show have given me good advice. It's that's definitely all the pros of clubs and friends and everything. So
Yeah, I've made a lot of new friends in social media
oh,
because of
absolutely.
social
Yeah,
Oh
media.
yeah.
So, like
really.
you guys, and
Yeah, all four of us. I mean, we wouldn't know
Yeah,
each other.
look,
Oh,
I got a
you
new
guys.
friend in Dano.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Ditto. Like I go, I may would meet Irv at a model show, but I wouldn't know him for Adam or Eve, except for social media, and say, oh my goodness, I know who
Yeah.
you are, and blah blah blah, and just and so it's the facial recognition from social media, and if you meet them in person, they said, you don't have to guess names anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so yeah, clubs will always still be around. The social media stuff won't don't kill the clubs, and so many clubs integrate into how many clubs would have a Facebook group. So
Oh yeah. A lot of them do.
you have your club, and then you also have the Facebook group or whatever.
Yeah,
I know I've been involved in a couple clubs that have that, so it kind of intertwines. But we were talking about like the con of it. And Dana, you were mentioning it, the keyboard warriors, and the
yeah.
guys who kind of wreck it. But how many of you were you guys around back in the day when before Facebook and all that stuff, when there was just a couple of really there was one place to go for model cars
Message
was
boards.
Hobby Heaven, the message board,
Yeah.
Yep.
and I don't recall any of that crap happened. Everybody was nice. Everybody. I mean, I made so many great friends on that group
Yeah,
back. Oh, geez, 26 years ago or so.
yeah,
There were
And
like one or two keyboard warriors on there.
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a
and they would
couple,
get
but
ran
not
off pretty
many.
quick.
No,
They
it
would.
was
Not.
really good format.
Yeah, for some reason.
and just like Bob Black's forum,
Oh yeah.
Track TRAK,
Yeah.
and I joined that on early, like when he first started it, and didn't have those keyboard warriors uh, either. So, like you said, the Hobby Heaven forum, and you know, yeah, I don't know what it is about social media or Facebook in particular that I mean, these guys, oh my God, I'm going to tell this guy off, type of deal. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. People started getting, I don't know, their inner
Brave,
bully coming out or something was. I don't know what happened. It just didn't seem in the early days of. You didn't see that much. You heard about it happening with the younger crowd. Remember what was that before Facebook? It was MySpace and the horrors of
MySpace, yeah.
that.
I missed that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Me
That was.
too, Irv.
I didn't. I
MySpace
don't
is
know.
like right here.
Yeah, exactly. All I ever heard was horrible stuff about that. But
Yeah.
when Facebook came about, and then it was Facebook groups started, that kind of like took over, and there were no more really use. People weren't using the forums anymore. But it just
Yeah.
seemed like even in the forums, I noticed you start seeing that shift to Facebook around 2015, and but when the forums were still going, between 12 and 15 and all that, you started there was nastiness starting to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about YouTube till like a year and 3/4 ago. Like
Really?
I'm fairly new to YouTube in general.
Holy cow!
I mean, I never got on.
Got
I
right
never
in it.
got on that before that. I just.
I had followed YouTube creators for a while, but there's a number of them that I follow, not just in the modeling community, but others. So I've known about YouTube and stuff, but I never even dreamed about being a creator till you guys pushed me into it. But no, so I thought YouTube was great, and I felt at the time, because I was not a creator, I didn't see a lot of the negative commentary that some people put out. I see some of it now, but not so much. But it has Facebook. But yeah, I always enjoyed watching YouTube videos, and then of course we got Instagram as well. And I really like Instagram. I have not had any negative feedback
Really?
on Instagram either, and I post a lot on
Really?
Instagram.
I
I
haven't
might have
done
to.
a lot on Instagram. I started one, and I think I figured out how to post like 5 pictures on it, and I forgot how to do it, and I haven't been
That's
back
what happened
since.
to me. I'm. It's so clunky for me. I can't. I have such a hard time, and I want to start using Instagram a lot more. I know it's a really, especially the fact that I have a business involved that I'm very intertwined with. You know, uh,
Well, I think the younger
we have,
generations are more into that, aren't they?
yeah.
Aren't they more into Instagram?
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of older people now. Instagram is really becoming. Instagram is actually nipping at the heels of Facebook. There's a lot of people really using that more than anything now.
Well,
Yeah,
what
I
they call
started.
Facebook now, they call it just for old people anyway, right?
Yeah.
None of the kids use it.
Yeah,
No,
we're
no,
boomers. We're
yeah,
boomers.
boomers.
But you're talking about business, but that's exactly why I started my Instagram page was for my business when I was doing the custom bikes and the custom woodworking and the
Uh huh.
custom painting and fabricating. For my custom crafts business, that's I started the Instagram and it really helped build my business up. Because it was pretty much international
Yeah,
and so on and so forth. So and that's why I originally started. Now I use it for of course I post all the model stuff on there and all that.
Right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was just thinking that like podcasts, that's I know it's social media, but it's insulary from like the Facebook and all that because
Absolutely.
you're in charge of what you produce.
Yeah.
And the stuff, the feedback that comes from that is probably going to be 80% show up on Facebook. Did you see
Hmm.
this so and so and he said this, and then there's where the debates or arguments or whatever will show up. But I think podcasts are like the median ground between the club and the social media. And I use a lot of podcasts to, just to have in my headphones when I'm doing stuff around the house or
Yeah.
while I'm building. I mean, it makes the time go by. And every once in a while, I have to stop and write down what something they said about a product. And I was like, well, I gotta kind of got to
Oh
look into
yeah.
that. But I think podcasts. I treat them as something to. A lot. I do a lot of audio. I listen to a lot of audio podcasts, and
Yeah.
not the YouTube
Yeah.
ones per
Yeah.
se. But they,
Me too.
they help pass my day and all that. And I mean, while I'm sitting at the bench, it's nice.
Yeah, yeah. I
Got
listen
this.
to them a lot at the bench.
Yeah, I've
Yep.
been quite a while ago became a huge fan of podcasts. Got a lot of them that I listen to when I go out into my casting shop. I mean, I set my phone, I get on Spotify, and I have a ton of different podcasts I listen to, and um, oh boy, some of the great gems. I'm a huge fan of the of vintage racing and the history of racing, especially NASCAR. I really love listening to the podcasts. There's a lot of them now that they have some people from the sport, crew chiefs especially. I love podcasts when there's old crew chiefs, and now they're starting to really open up and talk about all the cheating. There's so many stories coming out of we always suspect or we're finding out stuff that these guys did back then because now they don't care. they're
Yeah.
Yeah.
telling they're telling it all, and it's been. I really enjoy that. I eat all that stuff up, and there's some podcasts. I got some podcasts I will re-listen to and re-listen to and re-listen to because they're so full of information,
Yep.
just useless information that I wanted. There was this one most of my podcasts I listen to are like real automotive and racing podcasts, and there's this one podcast I was listening to. Uh, I think that they're from Hemmings, one of the Hemmings podcasts, but there's one that one of the hosts was like he's heavy into 911 Porsches, so much that they decided because people were asking questions that he would start from the beginning and go through all the different like really structured all the 911s from 63 on up to today It's describing all the difference, all the nuance, everything about them. And I love that car so much. I've learned so much about the Porsche 911, like I'll ever own one, but I like building models of them. And I've listened to that podcast. I can't tell you how many times, just because I'm trying to get that all the information this guy gives drilled into my head. So yeah, the podcasts just give you an opportunity to learn so much about whatever subject you want. You can find just about any subject, and you learn so much about things that you might have never known and always wanted to know, or really
Agreed.
probably shouldn't have ever known, and now you know. UFOs. But yeah, it definitely a huge. I mean, not just for our hobby, but the whole just having the knowledge that we get from all this. We never, the clubs only did so much, and we could only get from the opportunity to go to a model show and meet other people in different regions, and then we had Scale Auto Enthusiast. Yeah, today we've got so much, all that, and we all get to mingle and get to know one another. It also gets people to travel more to faraway shows.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, one thing I have learned is you guys on the East Coast have a heck of a lot more going on than we have on the West Coast.
Irvin and I were talking about that, like at the last meeting, about how he felt that a lot of the builders between Mama and Acme and this and that.
Yeah.
It just seems like the East Coast has more going on. I'm not saying the
Way more.
builders are any better, but it just seems like there's more going on here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
You have a high population too.
Yeah,
It's
that's
bigger
yeah. After being
population.
out west and driving for hours and not seeing one person, I can
Yeah.
understand why here you can't throw a baseball without hitting somebody. So
If
Well,
I
yeah,
had to
well,
go,
that's a
the
huge
times I
point.
had to do engineering work out in the DC area for the pharmaceutical
yeah,
industry, I hated driving out there.
there's a lot of people.
Yeah, it
I
was.
270, what a mess.
Oh yeah,
And you got, the states are smaller, the cities are closer over there. Here, you know, uh, a model show goes on that's not in Phoenix, it's going to be a minimum of 6 hour drive, no matter what, if
yeah,
it's going to be in
Yeah.
LA or in Las
yeah,
Vegas or in Albuquerque, even
Yep.
Tucson, my closest major city, it's still like a 3 hour drive. It's so stretched out. The states are so big out here, so people are way farther apart. There's not as many shows. There's not as many model builders on this side of the country, I believe, as there are on the East Coast. Because again, population. I even noticed that in the early '90s when I lived in Virginia. The 2 years I lived in Virginia, I went to more model car shows, all different sizes. I would go to model cars. I didn't care. A little hobby shop to a big event. At Charlotte Motor Speedway, there was one we went to. That I went to so many model shows those 2 years that I haven't even touched the surface in the 30 years being back. I've probably been to just a few here compared to. There was a model show to go to. There were some times of the year that there would be three in 1 month. And we don't have that here. And you guys are always talking about, you're always going to shows, and they're all relatively close. I mean, we're talking only like an hour drive, 2 hour drive, 3 hour drive. In here, if there's a model show going on, I'm looking at a 6, 8 hour drive, sometimes 12.
yeah. Toledo used to be, when I lived in Maryland. Toledo was our big, once a year big show where you were driving. Usually a day or two to get out there, and
Boy, do I miss that show.
yeah, I do
Oh,
too.
I could drive to it in 20 minutes.
Oh, I
Oh yeah.
bet. Yeah. Yeah, it was I mean, we used to stop in Dayton first, and then the next
Yep.
day we'd make a 2-day drive out of it, each direction, and that was a big deal going out there every year when
Yep.
when they had those two big buildings full of
Yep.
stuff.
Mostly models.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, I was the Canadian welcome wagon up north of Toledo. The
Yeah.
guys from Canada come in and we'd have a cookout in my
Ah.
driveway
Yeah, it's
the Friday night before.
that not only was my first show, that was for my first show, that That was like crazy. Like
Yeah,
I'd never been to nothing like that in my lifetime. It was just crazy.
yeah, I wish I could
I
have
did
gone to that.
travel from Florida to Toledo one time.
Did
So,
you
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah,
for
like when
that
the
for the
I
NNL?
mean, I know it was maybe the third or fourth NNL that they put on, and you know, it was a pretty good time, and that's why I wanted to go to NL East, but it just didn't work out this year. But yeah, I thought that was quite amazing. Compared to the shows we had in Florida, which were pretty good sized shows.
Right.
We usually had them in conjunction with the Street Broad Nationals,
Yeah.
but yeah, the Toledo show, was a different animal for sure.
Yeah, we got some good stories from that show. The travel out and stuff. We always had a really good time out there, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was amazing. It was just that was amazing to me. I never knew nothing like that. That was crazy.
I may not have known you, Irv, but I'm sure our paths crossed over there.
Oh, we did, yeah. But
Yeah, he was a different before
I
you
was a
two.
nobody. Nobody knew me.
Nobody knew Irv. I sat and had a conversation with Irv and didn't even know him.
Yeah. No, a bunch of the Ohio guys knew me. I like Tim Boyd and all those guys,
Yeah.
Randy Durr.
Yeah.
I knew those guys and Bill Coulter and a
Oh,
bunch of them
miss
up
Bill.
there. I do
Yeah,
too. He was a great ambassador for the hobby.
Yeah,
that's
Just a gentleman.
one of the
that's
guys
where Randy
look
and I
up to
met
now.
each other at the.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, torch has been passed, and now you guys are the ambassadors for the sport.
I don't know. I talked to Jim. You said you've got some models you're going to donate to the museum, and it's like I talk to the museum and I say, "Hey, I got some. I'll donate some of my stuff, to the museum," and they go, "Who are you?"
Oh, come on.
I'm kidding. I've never but I probably I definitely it's on my mind. I think that is a great thing for
No,
us.
for me it's I'm not getting any younger, and
Right.
at some point a couple of my really good ones are going to disappear or never be seen again. So
And you
I,
want them
I
preserved.
think they need a place to live.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I
I got a
actually
couple I want to send out. I actually have. I might have said this before. I have Larry Booth and we did a trade back in the day, and he gave me his first Salt Lake award that he ever got. He built a 4040, got second place, and I think it was Street Machine, and I own that car, and I want to. Larry just went to Larry went out to the big opening, and he donated a bunch of his cars to the
Wow.
museum. And
Yeah.
I want to send that. I want to get that one out there because it needs to be in part of that
Yeah.
that collection. He couldn't find the award for it anymore. He didn't know. I was hoping to reunite the award with the car, but he doesn't know what happened to it, or But
He got
that
back into
car
building for a minute, didn't he?
I'm sorry.
He got back into building for
Yeah,
a
he's
minute
been
there.
building. He's been building.
Is he back again?
Yeah,
Still
he's been
doing it?
building, and he does actually he does more than he used to do as far like you guys when you're building your big end builds, you're year, and there for a while it was going to 2 years, and some
Takes your
guys
life away.
yeah. So he's been building stuff that's been a little bit more
And that's the
predictable,
way
I
I
guess.
am now.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and
I do the same.
he's not competing anymore. So
Right.
but I want that car to be reunited with the rest of his stuff. So that's got to go out.
Yeah.
That would be
Larry
awesome.
he was one of those guys that I'd see his stuff and scale out. He was one of those
Oh yeah,
influences and inspirations for me. He was one of those guys. I really loved his styles, and I got a lot of ideas and picked up a lot of things from him. So did he had did he win what did he win best of show at Salt Lake? Didn't he win a best of show?
I think did his 57 Thunderbird.
Was it that? I can't remember. I know.
I think his Thunderbird might have won it. He's won a lot of stuff.
I know. There's so many. They're all.
But getting back to clubs, that's another important factor. like I was a member of his club, the club that he belonged to,
Yeah.
and just like seeing Jim's work, you get to see these guys that are building this extremely high end stuff. You get to
Yeah.
see the process of it, and you get to see the engineering and the research, and you get like a behind the curtain view of some of these extraordinary builds,
Yeah.
which bet even though you might like I don't build at that extreme end, but I still benefit from seeing how that stuff is made, and so I think you kind of like even though you might not be building at that level, you learn things because you see it month to month. You see the progress or
Yep.
what they're
Yes.
working on scratch building, and so I think that's another part of
Yep.
clubs that you don't get on Facebook. You really
I
can't get
agree.
that
Yep.
type of experience.
Yep. I
Yeah, that's
agree
very.
because Augie Hiscano actually came up a couple. He lived down in South Florida,
Yeah.
but he came up a couple of times, not only to the shows, and that's how I became friends with Augie Hiscano, and he would bring that roadster that he built, like all aluminum body and everything machined, and just like he brought it, a couple times. He didn't come up often, but he did bring it up, and just you just got to see all the minutia, all the fine details that he put into it, and like I said, same way. I don't build to net depth of detail, but it's still inspiring to see, and just it was. I would never have had that experience if it
Yep.
wasn't for the clubs.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, the clubs, that is definitely the backbone. That is like I was again, I had said it earlier. I was good 3 years into my serious model car building and I joined the club and it changed everything for me. And it really catapulted into you know, having this disease of a zillion kits because before that I would buy a kit, build it, and I would like lose out on so many kits because I want that. I go to the hobby shop and I'd stand there, but I feel like building this. This is my next project, and I got to finish that before I can go buy, which is probably the sensible way of thinking. But this hobby probably wouldn't exist if everybody did that. Um, the hobby shops will tell you, no, we need people who buy kits and keep on buying kits. That's how these kits get bought.
We need to work on Dano on that because how many kits do you own, Dano?
Whatever is in that case behind
That's
me.
all he
Yeah,
has.
that's
Yeah.
you're
Really?
There might
you
be there
know
Yeah,
might
we're
be
trying to shame him into getting more. It's
there
like you
might
got
be
to step
12 in
up your
there.
game.
Don't listen to Irv. It's an illness.
it's that's
That's
it.
it.
You
That's
It's
lucky.
it.
an illness.
It
That's
is.
all
It
he
is.
has.
That's what I got.
But I remember going to the model meet because like my
Uh,
club was based on it went to different people's houses, so we got to see. And the upside of it being at people's houses, we get to see their model
oh
rooms.
yes, so your
And I'd walk
collection.
into these model rooms and I'd see vintage kits from the '60s and '70s and some of these older guys stuff, and that's where I learned about kits was from these guys, what
Yeah.
was made and existed, and I got fascinated with the history of manufacturing and the hobby and all that. Um, it got me. It changed how my seriousness of it really kind of took over my life. I mean, model car building has always been probably the most major thing in my life since I was like 22 years old when I joined the
Oh,
club.
I'm sorry you missed out on 20 years.
Yeah, no kidding. I didn't build when I was a kid. What little bit building I was into spaceships. I was a Star Wars fan, and I built some spaceship models. I always loved miniatures. I always loved cars, but I didn't really do much of building as a kid. It all happened after I was out of high school, oddly enough, and I was just happened to walk into this this little model shop that was behind, in the back of a little toy store. I was there with my girlfriend. She was getting something for her little sister for her birthday, and I meandered back there and thought I'd like to build. I had a '69 Cutlass S convertible, and this was before AMT MPC came out with the '69 Cutlass. the closest thing I could find. Somebody like says, I'd like to build a model of my car, and I saw the monogram GTO, and so that's close to a Cutlass, same kind of shape. I'll just that might do it for me. And I built that model, and I
That's all she
hadn't
wrote.
stopped since. I haven't stopped. That was 1985.
1968, the little coffin.
Really, that was it. That was the one.
Yeah, the first one.
For me, it was Eddie in the Weirdo kit, the Hawk Weirdo kit.
Oh
Ah,
yeah, yeah.
I think I was 5.
I
really?
can't remember my first one, but like like I told you before, I built a lot of Palmers because I didn't have a lot of money.
Whatever it took, right?
Yeah,
I was
and
lucky
then of
my
course
dad
I
was a
had
model
two.
builder when he was a kid, but his
Yeah.
were balsa airplanes, so
Oh,
Mine
okay.
too.
it was an easy transition for him to help me out. So
That's
Yeah.
I was the oldest, so but whatever I had left, my two younger brothers, there's nothing left from when I was a
Boom.
kid. Well, what I didn't blow up, they did. So
Oh yeah. I never went through that phase.
oh,
yeah.
you missed some fun.
I
Just
missed
just a
them.
little story. I built two non-automotive models. I built the PT 109, and when I was staying at my grandma's here down in Florida, I forget how old I was, and it floated out into the middle of the Gulf of Mexico somewhere. And then I built the Red Baron bi-wing plane,
Oh yeah.
and I remember running down the hall and smashing into the opposite wall because I wasn't watching it. So those are my two non-automotive builds, and they
Ah,
Proper
ended in
deaths for any
disaster.
model.
yeah,
That's a proper
definitely.
death for any model.
Yeah.
Yeah, that PT 109
It's
floating out
probably still
there,
floating out there.
Floating out there in the
maybe
Gulf.
so.
It's probably abandoned somewhere on an island like the USS Minnow.
Oh gosh, yeah. The big hole in the
Yeah,
side of it, right?
Yep.
yeah,
All right. Well, guys, this was a good one. It was a cool conversation. I don't know
Yeah.
if we got anywhere with it, but what the heck? It was a good listen.
yeah.
So I'm sure some people got some model building done listening to us. And thanks again for you guys coming on. Dano, so glad to have you on.
Thanks
Nice
for having
meeting.
me.
Yeah, well, won't be the last time.
Awesome.
You're
Nice
cursed
meeting you, Dano.
into being a fellow knucklehead with us now. Now that you've been on here, so you're stuck. It happens. I'm sorry. And I mean, look at Jim. I just invited him once, and now he's like always here.
Get
That's a
over
lot
it.
of fun. It's
I'm
a
not
lot.
feeling the love, Jim. I'm not feeling the
I'm
love.
not either.
Yep.
Of course,
You
I'm not getting
guys
any
are
20s
right there.
either.
We were talking about podcasts. I love listening to podcasts, and I love doing them, and I love doing podcasts with my friends, and having fun conversations. It's pretty cool. So, well,
This is
we'll
almost like
start.
the model club. I mean,
Yeah,
just a
this
bunch
is a
of
little
chit
model
chat
club
about
right
this
here.
and that, and it's I like we're not right there, but we're still interfacing with each other.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of fun. Well, Irvin, we'll start with you and go around the clock, and you say your whatever you want to say.
Arterake on YouTube, and I do have a what was the other one? Instagram account, but I don't use it. That's pretty much it for me.
Dano?
Yeah. Dano, Lead'em Scale Model Cars YouTube, Lead'em Rack on Facebook, and Instagram is Custom Crafts of SRQ, and the Custom and Crafts is with a K.
Right
And
on.
thank you guys.
Jim Drew, I'm the junior knucklehead amongst this crew. So hope you're not bored with me because I ain't going away.
Nope, we're stuck
And
with you.
I have a Facebook group that's just geared up for GT and GTP racing cars. It started with the Mercedes AMG GT3 car that Tamaya came out with, and then it's just blown up. I mean, we got 10,000 members, 200 countries.
Great. I love that. There's some amazing builders.
I'm still blown away by how much it's grown. Just
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, over 10,000 now.
you know,
It's a
Fabulous.
great forum, great group. I enjoy it.
so
I need to build. I don't post there much because I haven't been building those type of cars, but I got a few things lined up I might be maybe got another Tamiya Mustang coming up in the works.
Hey, if you just do a 911, that'll be fine.
Even a crusty old beat up 911 I need to finish. Yeah, I got a couple of 911s. I got
Just throw a roundel on each door and you'll be fine.
That's easy to do. That's easy to do. No, I like that type of race car. I've got lots of kits, and I plan on getting on doing some of those. But it's an inspiration. There's a lot of inspiration on there. I'll tell you.
The only rule is no open wheel cars.
No open now. No. But I like GT and GTP cars. I also got a couple of. I got like. I want to do the. You remember the old monogram IMSA Mustangs, like that Miller car.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Those ready to rock. I want to build one of those real bad. That's a fun kit. But anyways, yep, this is me, Luka C, or most everybody knows me as Matt. You're on my channel, so there's no need to plug it. You already know where to find us. And yeah, that's how we roll here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We just like to talk about cool model car things here. That's what it's about. So
exactly.
And glue the fingers and cut the fingers and whatever, the styrene and all that. And Irvin.
What?
Do your job.
Here are the producers.
Okay, well, I see the four of us now. I see four of us.
Well, that's good because there's only four of us here.
Yep, so everybody knows we're going to talk about it's model clubs versus social media groups, pros and cons. Are we ready to fight? Violent?
I just want to know why you said versus.
I don't know. Who was the one who came up with that idea?
Wasn't me.
Irv?
No.
Whose idea?
Oh, somebody came up with it and didn't show up.
But when they said it, I was like, that's a great subject.
It is a good topic.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody else talk about that.
And then Irv, you're no longer the rookie, so.
Well, thanks for welcoming me. I do appreciate it.
Did he send his fee in? Did he send his $200 fee in?
Yeah, really. I didn't see it. I didn't see my PayPal light up.
Because I'll just black that screen right out then.
I have a stack of my Monopoly money right here.
Irv's ready to get back onto his job that he's missed.
Yeah, we missed it.
Month or so. Okay. I'm ready. You could take off. I'll just edit it out here.
Can you hear us at all? Shut down and come back on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard that? Yeah. It's always something going on, isn't it? There you go.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
you forgot to tell him to turn it back on.
Oh, shoot. It's not rocket architecture.